electrochemistry. Electrochemistry. This is very important chapter regarding exam point of view. इलेक्ट्रोकेमिस्ट्री, तो आज हम लोग इलेक्ट्रोकेमिस्ट्री के ऊपर बात करेंगे और इस चैप्टर में देखते हैं क्या क्या है, कैसे होता है. This electrochemistry is further divided into 3 different parts. One is related to electrolytic cell and electrolysis. Another is galvanic cell and their applications. Another is conduction inside the solution. Inside the solution. So the whole chapter is divided into 3 subparts. One is related to electrolytic cell and electrolysis. Other is galvanic cell and other is conduction inside the solution. So the very first part, that is electrolytic cell. इलेक्ट्रोलाइटिक सेल क्या है, इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस क्या है. इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस को अगर बोलेंगे lysis due to electrons, what does it mean? So suppose there is a solution, that solution is having electrolytes, and you know about this electrolytes. Electrolytes are the substance which is composed of ions or can be broken down into corresponding ions. So when external electric current is passed through them, if external electric current is passed through electrolytic solution, these electrolytes undergo cleavage into their corresponding ions. So suppose electrolytes we have taken AB, and this is converted into A plus plus B minus. So AB solution is converted to A plus in the solution and B minus in the solution. So electrolytes are either composed of ions or can be converted into ions. As we have discussed about the nature of electrolytes and types of electrolytes in ionic equilibrium chapter itself. So when external electric current is passed through electrolytics, passed through and solution which is electrolytic solution, that electrolytic solution is converted into respective ions, and such process is called as electrolysis. Electrolysis, lysis means breaking, and breaking because of passing electrons, because of passing electric current. So by passing electric current, if solution is broken down into respective ions, that process is called as electrolysis, and this electrolysis is carried out in certain device that is called as electrolytic cell. So what is happening in this? So external electric current, that is electric current is converted into corresponding chemical energy. So electrical energy is converted, this is nothing, it is what? Electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. So a process in which electrical energy is converted into chemical energy is called as electrolysis. Okay. Electrolysis is carried out in certain device which is called as electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell is what? Electrolytic cell. What is this? A device in which electrolysis is carried out. electrolysis is carried out. That is called as electrolytic cell. This electrolytic cell is composed of two metallic rod or metallic plate which is connected through an external battery dipped in a solution. The solution is electrolytic solution. So this contains electrolytic solution. Let's say in electrolytic solution we have taken zinc sulfate, ZnSO4. And through this zinc sulfate, two metallic rod is used. Left rod is anode, right rod is cathode. Since external electric current is passed through them, so this is the direction of flow of electric current I. And electrons will be, direction of flow of electron will be opposite to the direction of flow of electric current. When electric current is passed through this solution, what happens? This zinc sulfate solution is converted into their corresponding ion Zn2 plus and SO4 2 minus. So by passing electric current, if this zinc sulfate is converted into their respective ions, that is the process which is called as electrolysis. So now this electrolytic solution containing electrolytic ions as Zn2 plus and SO4 2 minus. Okay. Now what will happen on this anode? Let's say whatever the rod we have used, anode and cathode. Let's say we have taken pure zinc rod as anode, impure zinc rod as anode, and pure zinc rod we have taken cathode. So what will happen from this zinc rod, which is having zinc over there, so at this rod zinc 2 plus zinc rod is converted into Zn2 plus and 2 electrons. So this Zn2 plus goes to the solution itself, increasing the concentration of Zn2 plus in the solution. So by passing electric current by this rod, there is this zinc ions from zinc rod moves to the solution. And over here on this rod itself, which is having pure zinc rod, what will happen? This reaction takes place at anode. If you see the reaction at cathode, what happens? Reaction at cathode. So at cathode there is pure zinc rod. What will happen? Zinc 2 plus from the solution will accept electron, becoming Zn solid. This zinc rod is having zinc 2 plus, which is moved to the solution. Electron flows outside through an external wire. This electron goes to the cathode. So on this cathode there will be electrons. There will be electrons. On this zinc rod there will be Zn2 plus. Zn2 plus. So zinc 2 ions will be there on this electrode. Therefore, anode is positively charged over here, cathode is negatively charged. Cathode is containing full of electrons having negative charge, anode is containing full of zinc ions that is having positive charge. So anode is positive rod, cathode is negative rod in this electrolytic cell. Okay. So when we do electrolysis, when we pass electric current to the solution, that particular solution is converted into zinc 2 plus and SO4 2 minus ions. What will happen? See, why this rod undergo oxidation and reduction of their corresponding metal. See, we have taken metal rod into a solution which is metal solution. Metal salt solution we have used. So in this metal salt solution, what will happen? See, in this metal salt solution, the salt solution is converted to Zn2 plus and SO4 2 minus. So this, by passing electric current, this is converted to Zn2 plus and SO4 2 minus, and then what will happen? This solution, from this solution itself, let's say we have another rod. Another rod we have taken. This is zinc rod. So in this solution, we are passing electric current. Okay. So electric current is passed through them. Current electrons will flow outside through this external wire. Okay. So zinc ions from this solution under the influence of electric current, to complete the circuit in between this and this rod, these ions will move towards the oppositely charged rod. This electron will reach to this particular rod itself. So what will happen? Suppose zinc ions was earlier 1 molar, and now some of the zinc ions 1 molar minus X molar ions are moved out from the solution itself. So in the solution there will be less concentration of zinc ions by passing electric current, because some of the zinc ions gets deposited over the surface of cathode. So obviously there will be solution gradient, concentration gradient and concentration differences will be there, due to which this zinc will be converted to zinc 2 plus ion and 2 electrons. So zinc 2 plus ion will move to the solution itself. Okay, so what happened when we pass electric current to them by using two metallic rod which is dipped in the solution? By two metallic rod, what happened? There will be electrolytic substance undergo ionization or dissociation into their respective ions, and that ions will migrate towards the oppositely charged rod. So zinc ions will move towards this particular cathode which is negatively charged, and since zinc ions from the solution is being deposited, so of course the concentration of zinc ions, which was earlier 1 molar, now it is little less by X molar. So obviously the X molar zinc will be supplied by this zinc rod itself to the solution to maintain their concentration, and this undergo oxidation into Zn2 plus 2 electron. Zinc 2 plus will move out to the solution, electron will flow through external circuit itself, external wire itself. And if the ions will start migrating towards oppositely charged rod, what will happen? The internal circuit will be completed and there will be continuous flow of electric current. Over here, flow of electric current is because of this ionic movement which takes place inside the solution. This is happening in electrolysis. So while we pass electric current to the solution, what will happen? That particular electrolyte is converted into corresponding ions, and these ions will start migrating towards oppositely charged rod itself, and due to which what will happen? The rod which undergo oxidation is anode, and the rod on which reduction takes place, that is cathode. So on anode there will be oxidation, on cathode there will be reduction. Okay, this is the phenomenon which is called as electrolysis. By passing electric current, those electric current is converted to chemical energy because they have supplied sufficient ionization energy, sufficient lattice energy to separate them into corresponding ions. That is nothing, it is chemical energy. So it is converted to chemical energy so that these ions are being separated out from the solution itself, and these ions will migrate towards oppositely charged rod and it will become like this. Okay. Now, instead of this, if we suppose we take platinum rod, Over here also platinum rod. So if anode is made up of platinum rod, cathode is made up of platinum rod, then what will happen? Anode is platinum, cathode is platinum. So platinum, alright, will not move, platinum will not lose their electrons to become platinum 2 plus. So simply we will take this, if this is anode, this will be positively charged. If it is cathode, this will be negatively charged. Okay, positively charged and negatively charged. Two oppositely charged rod is dipped into the solution and connected through an external circuit itself. If it is connected through an external circuit and the external electric current is passed through them, the solution which is having zinc sulfate will become Zn2 plus SO4 2 minus. This zinc 2 plus will move to this oppositely charged rod. So on this cathodic plate, what will happen? Zinc 2 plus will accept 2 electron, becoming zinc solid. Then SO4 2 minus will move to oppositely charged platinum rod, which is positively charged, undergo oxidation. So SO4 2 minus undergo loss of 2 electron, becoming SO4, and SO4, alright, 2 unit, SO4 2 unit undergo the formation of SO4 2 unit. What is this? S2O8. S2O8 decomposes further because S2O8 is not any gas. So what it forms? It forms SO2. So if it is SO2, 2 SO2 if we take, so 2 sulfur and 4 oxygen, so 2 SO2 plus the remaining oxygen, O2 gas is evolved. So what is this? What we can say, 4 oxygen over here, so 4 oxygen over here, so this will be total 8 oxygen, so 8 oxygen, 2 sulfur, so it will evolve sulfur dioxide gas and oxygen gas at anode. So it is not compulsory that on cathode and anode there will be metallic oxidation or metallic reduction. So we can say sulfur dioxide and oxygen gas is evolved at this anode, and over here zinc 2 plus gets deposited over the surface of platinum, become zinc solid. Okay, so this is the process, the reaction takes place during electrolysis. The reaction takes place during electrolysis. Okay, now laws of electrolysis and laws of electrolysis. Laws of electrolysis. So Faraday proposed 2 laws of electrolysis over here. First is Faraday's first law of electrolysis. First law of electrolysis. Another is Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Faraday's first law and Faraday's second law of electrolysis. Faraday's first law of electrolysis states that the amount of substance deposited at cathode is proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through them. So M is proportional to Q itself. So the amount of substance deposited at cathode, because substance gets deposited at cathode and that will be evolved at, gases are evolved at anode. Oxidation takes place at anode, reduction takes place at cathode. As you have seen, oxidation takes place at anode and reduction takes place at cathode. So the amount of substance which is deposited over the surface of cathode is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity which has been passed through this electrolytic cell. So M is proportional to Q. Therefore, M is equals to a constant Z into Q, where Z is a constant known as electrochemical equivalent. Electrochemical equivalent. Z is a constant which is known as electrochemical equivalent. Now, what is this electrochemical equivalent? If 1 gram of substance M is equals to, see what we can say, M is equals to Z into Q itself. Okay. So, if Q is equals to 1 coulomb, if Q is equals to 1 coulomb, then what we can say, the mass deposited is equals to Z. If Q is equals to 1 coulomb, mass deposited is Z. What does it mean? By passing 1 coulomb of electricity, whatever the mass of substance deposited at cathode, it just is called as electrochemical equivalent. So M is equals to Z. If 1 coulomb of electricity is passed through an electrolytic cell, the mass deposited at cathode is called as their electrochemical equivalent. Alright. Now, since we know that Q is equals to I into T, therefore we can say M is equals to Z into I into T. Z into I into T. That is 1 coulomb electricity. 1 coulomb electricity is 1 ampere second. So by passing 1 ampere second, whatever the mass has been deposited at the surface of cathode is just equals to their Z. That is, Z is the amount of substance deposited on the surface of cathode by passing 1 coulomb of electricity or 1 ampere second electric current. Okay. Therefore, if similar type of cells are connected in series, what we can say, if similar cells are connected in series, so if cells are connected in series, same quantity of electricity is being passed through them because Q will be same, IT will be same. So what we can say, alright, if number of cells are connected in series, then M1 by M2 is equals to Z1 by Z2 because IT remains same. Okay. If number of cells are connected in series, then Q remains same in all cells. Then M1 by M2 is equals to Z1 by Z2. So let's say if this is equation number 1, we'll have this equation number 2. So if 2 or more cells are connected in series, number of cells are connected in series, then they will share the same electricity, same amount of current for the same time interval. Therefore, the M1 by M2 is equals to Z1 by Z2 itself. Alright, it was Faraday's first law of electrolysis. Now, in Faraday's second law of electrolysis, what it states? In second law of electrolysis, it states that when number of cells are connected in series, like see, suppose we have taken 3 different cells. Let's say we have zinc sulfate solution, there is copper sulfate solution, there is silver nitrate solution. Okay, we have taken zinc rod over here. Alright, we have taken zinc rod over here. So So this is pure zinc, this is impure zinc, there is pure copper, impure copper, there is pure copper, again there is impure silver, and there is pure silver. So this will be anode, cathode, anode, cathode, anode, cathode. Generally, according to IUPAC convention, left electrode is anode, right electrode is cathode. And now we are passing electric current to them. So electrons will be towards the opposite side. Okay. Now, by passing same amount of electricity, electric current to all these cells, what happen? So there will be same mass deposited at this cathode will be of mass of zinc. Over here copper, over here silver. So at this place, at this electrode, zinc is deposited. Zinc is deposited. At this, copper is deposited. At this cathode, silver is deposited. Is deposited. So Faraday's second law states that when same quantity of electricity is passed through number of cells connected in series, then the mass of substance deposited at respective cathode is directly proportional to their equivalent mass. So what does it mean? Mass of substance deposited is directly proportional to their equivalent mass. Therefore, M1 by M2 is equals to E1 by E2. M1 by M2 is equals to E1 by E2. If same quantity of electricity is passed through number of cells connected in series, then the mass of substance deposited at respective electrode is directly proportional to their equivalent mass. So M is proportional to E. Therefore, M1 by M2 is equals to E1 by E2. Since we know this is second equation, let's say. Since we know that M1 by M2 is equals to Z1 by Z2 as well. So therefore, M1 by M2 is equals to E1 by E2 is equals to Z1 by Z2. M1 by M2 is equals to E1 by E2 is equals to Z1 by Z2. Therefore, we can say E is proportional to Z as well, and therefore E is equals to F into Z, where F is a proportionality constant known as Faraday's constant. F is a proportionality constant known as Faraday's constant. This Faraday's constant is what? This Faraday's constant F, alright, it represents the charge present on 1 mole of electrons. Charge present on 1 mole of electrons. That is, F is equals to Na into electronic charge. So Faraday is nothing, it represents the charge present on 1 mole of electrons. Okay, that is 1 mole 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 into electronic charge is 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. If you multiply this value, you will get 96,500 coulomb approximately. So therefore, the value of 1 Faraday charge is 96,500 coulomb. Okay. Now, so what we know that now? We know that M is equals to ZIT. One of the equation from Faraday's first law. Another is M1 by M2 is equals to Z1 by Z2 if cells are connected in series. Another is M1 by M2 is equals to E1 by E2 as well, alright, if cells are connected in series, as well as E is equals to F into Z. E is equals to F into Z. Now, if it is, let's say, this is first equation, this is second equation, and now this is third equation. This is third, this is fourth. So this is third and this one is fourth. Okay. Now, Z is equals to E by F. Put this Z value over there in the first equation. So what we'll get? M is equals to Z. Z is equals to E by F into IT. Therefore, M by E is equals to IT by F, where M by E is mass of substance divided by their equivalent mass, and mass by equivalent mass is called as number of equivalents. So number of equivalents is written as IT by F, that is equals to Q by F. That is, number of equivalents is the charge which has been passed through electrolytic cells divided by charge present on 1 mole of electrons, Q by F. What we can say? Let's say we have Zn2 plus is deposited on the surface of cathode in the form of zinc. Copper 2 plus is converted into copper. Silver plus electron, silver ions. So one equivalent of zinc, one equivalent of copper, and one equivalent of silver is deposited. If we pass same quantity Q in all these cells, so equivalent mass of zinc, that is molar mass of zinc divided by 2, equivalent mass of copper, molar mass of copper divided by 2, equivalent mass of silver, that is molar mass of silver divided by 1. This much gram of silver, this much gram of copper, and this much gram of zinc has been deposited. Alright. Over here, to deposit molar mass of zinc, to deposit 65.5 gram of zinc, of zinc, alright, we need to pass 2 Faraday charge. So by passing 2 Faraday charge, 65.5 gram of zinc has been deposited. By passing 1 Faraday charge, then obviously 65.5, which is the molar mass of zinc, divided by 2, that much zinc has been deposited over the surface of cathode. Similarly, by passing 2 Faraday, 63.5 gram of zinc copper is deposited. By passing 1 Faraday, 63.5 by 2 gram of copper is deposited. By passing 1 Faraday of electricity, 108 gram of silver is deposited. So what does it mean by passing 1 Faraday of electricity? What happened? 1 gram equivalent of a substance has been deposited. That is, equivalent mass of substance has been deposited. Okay. So write down, by passing 1 Faraday of electricity, alright, equivalent mass of substance is being deposited. Equivalent mass of substance has been deposited. By passing 1 Faraday of electricity, what does it mean? That is charge on 1 mole of electron, Avogadro number into electronic charge. By passing this much electricity, equivalent mass of substance has been deposited to their respective cathode. Understood? Again, another thing is, whatever the equivalents of substance, because we are using same quantity of electricity, IT. So IT by F is nothing, it is number of equivalents. So what we can say in another point, number of equivalent of substance which has been deposited at cathode must be equals to number of equivalent of substance which has been evolved at anode. So number of equivalents of substance, write down, number of equivalent of substance deposited at cathode must be equals to number of equivalents of substance evolved at anode. Number of equivalent of substance deposited at cathode must be equals to number of equivalent of substance evolved at anode. At cathode, whatever the equivalents has been deposited, at anode same equivalents has been evolved. So number of equivalent of substance deposited is equals to number of equivalent of substance which has been evolved. Okay. On the both the electrodes, number of equivalent must remain same. Based on this, many questions you can do, no problem. Like see, for example, some questions. This is about Faraday's law of electrolysis. Let's say one question is there. Okay. When 3 ampere current is passed, through an electrolytic cell for 1 hour, through an electrolytic cell containing ZnSO4 solution for 1 hour. Okay. Find the mass of zinc deposited at cathode. Find the mass of zinc deposited at cathode. So what we can say, M is equals to ZIT. This is equals to E by F into IT. Therefore, M by E is equals to, M we need to calculate. So mass of substance deposited is calculated. E is what? Equivalent mass. Equivalent mass of zinc is 65.5 divided by 2 into current passed is 3 ampere into time is what? 1 hour, that is 60 into 60 divided by 96,500 coulomb of electricity. So whatever the calculation will be there, that is the answer in this case. Okay. Next question. Next question. So write down a question. When 5 ampere current is passed for 1 hour, through a series of electrolytic cells connected in series containing zinc sulfate, copper sulfate and silver nitrate solutions respectively. Containing zinc sulfate, copper sulfate and silver nitrate respectively. Then find out the amount of substance deposited on their respective cathode. Amount of substance deposited on their respective cathode. Amount of substance deposited on their respective cathode. Alright? Okay. See now. So we have 3 cells are connected in series. One is containing zinc sulfate, other is containing copper sulfate, and other is containing silver nitrate. So in zinc sulfate, the zinc which is being deposited must be equals to their equivalent mass, which is 65.5 by 2, this much gram. In copper sulfate solution, copper is deposited at their electrode and the amount of copper deposited is 63.5 by 2 gram. The amount of silver deposited is 108 gram by passing same quantity of electricity, and quantity of electricity which has been passed is nothing, it is 5 ampere current for 1 hour. Okay. Now next question. Suppose we have AlCl3. Alright. Consider the following reaction. Next question. Consider the following reaction. Reaction is aluminium 3 plus 3 electron gives rise to aluminium. Magnesium 2 plus 2 electron gives rise to magnesium. Now, find the quantity of electricity which is required to deposit 4.9 gram of aluminium and 3 gram of magnesium okay, 4.5 gram of aluminium and 3 gram of magnesium from their salt solutions taken in two different cells connected in series. Alright. How to do? What to do? See. So how we can do this question? To deposit 27 gram of aluminium, we need 3 moles of electronic charge. So by passing 3 moles of electronic charge, 27 gram is being deposited. According to the question, we need to deposit 4.5 gram. So 27 gram of aluminium is deposited by passing 3 Faraday of electricity. Then 4.5 gram of aluminium is being deposited by passing 4.5 divided by 27 into 3 Faraday. This is equals to, alright, so this is equals to 4.5 and 27, so this is what, 4, 6, 24, 6, 5, so F 1 by 6, this is 3 and 2, 6, that is F by 2. So what quantity of electricity is required? F by 2 quantity of electricity is required to deposit 4.5 gram of aluminium. Alright, 27 gram is deposited by using 3 Faraday of charge. So 4.5 gram is being deposited by using F by 2 Faraday charge, that is half Faraday charge, 1 by 2 Faraday charge, no problem. Similarly over here, 24 gram of magnesium is being deposited by using 2 Faraday charge. Therefore, 3 gram of magnesium can be deposited by using 2 Faraday into 3 by 24, this much Faraday of charge. So 3, 24, that is 8, and 2 4s are 8, that is F by 4. So it requires 1/4 Faraday charge to deposit 3 gram of magnesium, while half Faraday charge to deposit 4.5 gram of aluminium. Alright, to deposit 4.5 gram of aluminium, F by 2, to deposit 3 gram of magnesium, F by 4. Understood? Now, again, next question. Yes. 500 ml of 0.1 molar copper sulfate solution. 500 ml of 0.1 molar copper sulfate solution is being electrolyzed by using 5 ampere current for 3 hours. Is electrolyzed by using 5 ampere current for 3 hours. Okay. If current efficiency is 50%, then find out the amount of copper 2 plus which is left out in the solution after electrolysis. Which is left out in the solution after electrolysis. Which is left out in the solution after electrolysis. Which is left out in the solution after electrolysis. See how to do this question. So we have copper sulfate solution, which is 500 ml of 0.1 molar. In this copper sulfate solution, we do electrolysis by using 5 ampere current for 3 hours. Okay. Then current efficiency is 50%. That is, whatever the amount of current has been passed, electricity is passed, only 50% is being utilized and 50% is wasted. Then what amount of copper 2 plus will be left out in the solution? That is the question. So by passing this much current for 3 hours with 50% efficiency, how much copper 2 plus has been deposited, you need to calculate. So the amount of mass of copper 2 plus deposited is equals to, you know that, ZIT. Mass of copper 2 plus deposited, mass of copper 2 plus deposited is just equals to ZIT from Faraday's law. So Z is equals to E by F into I into T. Okay, so that is equals to E. E is what? Copper 2 plus E is 63.5 divided by 2 by Faraday 96,500 coulomb. I, 5 ampere current is passed for with 50% efficiency. So what we can say, 5 ampere into 0.5. 50% is 0.5 itself, 50 by 100. For 3 hours, 3 hours means 3 into 60 into 60 second. So whatever the calculated value will be there, that is the mass of copper 2 plus deposited after 3 hours by using 5 ampere current with 50% efficiency. So this much copper 2 plus is deposited, isn't it? Okay, simply you can simplify this also. Okay, you get the mass of copper 2 plus. Earlier, what was the mass of copper 2 plus when solution concentration is 0.1 molar and 500 milliliter? So the molarity is equals to number of moles is mass by molar mass of copper sulfate. So molar mass of copper sulfate into volume of solution in a liter. So by using this equation, we'll get what? We'll get the mass of copper 2 plus. Earlier it was present. Okay, and from that much copper 2 plus, this much mass has been deposited. If this much mass has been deposited, earlier it had this much mass. So what is the mass of copper 2 plus left out? We can find it out. Okay. This question, or it can be solved alternatively like this. Instead of calculating mass of copper 2 plus deposited, you calculate the number of equivalents of copper 2 plus deposited. So number of equivalents of copper 2 plus will be mass by equivalent mass. So the left out value will be 5 into 0.5 into 3 into 60 into 60 divided by 96500. So this much equivalence of copper 2 plus has been deposited. What was the earlier equivalents present? So number of equivalents of copper 2 plus earlier before electrolysis present, it was molarity into volume into valency factor. So 500 ml into 0.1 molarity, alright, into valency factor 2 divided by 1000. So molarity into volume into valency factor, and since volume is in milliliters, so it must be divided by 1000. So we will get this 2 value, then 2 and 2 is cancelled. This was 0.1 equivalent of copper 2 plus was present earlier, and out of this 0.1 equivalent, how much equivalent of copper 2 plus has been deposited? So then after we can find out. So the number of copper 2 plus left out in the solution after electrolysis will be 0.1 minus, let's say this calculated value is x, so we will have 0.1 minus x. This much equivalent is number of equivalents of copper 2 plus. Left out will be 0.1 minus x. So now we know that number of equivalents of copper 2 plus left out, and this is equals to mass by equivalent mass of copper 2 plus. Therefore, mass of copper 2 plus left out is equals to 0.1 minus x multiplied by the equivalent mass of copper 2 plus 63.5 by 2. This much gram of copper 2 plus is left out after electrolysis. This is the answer. Okay. Once again you see, question was from 500 ml of 0.1 molar copper sulfate solution by passing 5 ampere current for 3 hours with current efficiency 50%, how much copper 2 plus is left out in the solution after electrolysis? How to do this solution? Since we know that mass of copper 2 plus deposited is equals to ZIT. Z is written as E by F into IT. E value is this much, alright, I into T, no problem. Then mass of copper 2 plus deposited, we know that. Earlier, what was the mass of copper 2 plus? We can find out from their molarity. So molarity is mass by molar mass into volume in liter. So 500 ml by 1000. Molarity was given 0.1 molar. Molar mass, we know that is 65.5. 63.5. Okay, so we'll get the mass of copper 2 plus. Earlier it was present. Mass of copper 2 plus deposited, and if we do the subtraction of this value, we'll get the mass of copper 2 plus left out in the solution. This is one method. Alternatively, what we can do? So alternatively, the number of equivalents of copper 2 plus which has been deposited, we can calculate, which is mass by equivalent mass, which is equals to IT by F. So we have calculated number of equivalents. The number of equivalents, earlier it was present 500 to 0.1 into valency factor 2 and divided by 1000 because volume is in ml. So it will be divided by 1000. So this is 0.1 equivalent. Then number of copper 2 plus left out in the solution is 0.1 minus x. Okay, because 0.1 was earlier it was present 0.1 equivalent, and now it is x. This calculated value will be x. So 0.1 minus x equivalent is left out in the solution. So number of equivalent is left out in the solution is equals to nothing is mass left out by equivalent mass. So mass left out is equals to 0.1 minus x into equivalent mass of copper 2 plus. So we'll get the answer. So based on Faraday's law of electrolysis, like this we can solve questions. And definitely every year, alright, in your exam, every year they are asking questions from Faraday's law of electrolysis and electrolytic cells. So I hope You understood how to solve the questions, and you understood this Faraday's law of electrolysis. You understood electrolysis and all. Remaining, the next is, that is, product of electrolysis. So prediction of product of electrolysis we will discuss in next video. Alright. Thank you very much. I hope all of you understood. Thank you.